Hello everyone, today I'm going to be looking at the new and interesting units from the Wargame Red Dragon Double Nation Pack Reds, which introduced Finnish and Yugoslavian units to the game. In this video we'll be looking at the Yugoslavian support and tanks. So first up we have the RL-4M Praga, which is a 40-point infrared missile launcher with only 2 missiles, but it does have 3,325 meter range against helicopters, 2,625 meters against airplanes, which isn't great, but 60% accuracy and 6 HE power. That can basically take down helicopters pretty easily and from a safe distance. 70 km/h speed means it will get there off-road pretty quickly. 150 km/h on-road speed, of course, because it's wheeled. Does have some armor on the front and side to keep it safe from light arms fire. So this is an interesting unit, but I reckon only having 2 missiles is going to get irritating for resupply. Now, have you ever hated having to turn off your radar for your radar guided missiles? Well, no longer with the RS-PVO Never M1T. This thing is basically a NEWA, but is not radar, and it basically retains the same stats as the radar variant, but for 30 more points for those of you who are lazy. Unfortunately, the Yugoslavians don't get the armoured version as well, like you do with the Polish, so you'll have to make do with the massive truck. And because this thing will be eating supply, that's not too much of an issue if you keep it nearby roads and use the 150 km/h road speed. Next up we have the NoraB, which basically looks like an onshore gun battery on wheels. It's a pretty cool 150mm cannon they got there with 48 rounds, 23,800 meter range with only a dispersion of 3,640 meters with 7 HE power. This thing can be quite accurate from a long range, but the trouble is I just expect this thing to flip over every time that gun fires, because there doesn't seem to be any brace on the back of it. Either way, the 80 km/h speed does allow it to dodge any counter-artillery fire, and you might see this used by some artillery enthusiasts. Moving on, we have the Spat Bov 30. Another interestingly named unit, but this is really cool. It's a 30mm auto cannon on a very quick APC, which has 95 km/h off-road speed, and it has 2,625 meter range against helicopters, 45% accuracy as well, and 949 rounds per minute. So this thing could absolutely tear helicopters out of the sky and can catch up to them pretty quickly with that speed and catch out recon helicopters and all sorts. So a very interesting vehicle on the support tab that I think actually quite a lot of people will make use of. So finally for the support, we have the SVLR M94 Plamen S, and this is a nice rocket weapon system which does have a superb dispersion value of only 2,730 meters, and what happens with this is it fires 16 round salvos of rockets which are incredibly accurate with 8 HE power, so that suppression effect could really set you up for some very nice attacks. Furthermore, the truck is pretty quick off-road with 95 km/h speed, allowing you to place it pretty much wherever you like in order to get within range of 12,250 meters, and maybe also dodge some counter-artillery while you're at it. Now moving on to the tanks, we have the most expensive one that the Yugoslavians can buy, the M91A Vihor or Vihor. It has a main gun with 70% accuracy, 22 AP power and 10 rounds per minute, which is really nice. Lovely round per minute there. 22 front armor is not too shabby. 80 km/h speed is also pretty good as well. So a nice all-round super heavy there for Yugoslavia. I expect to see most people building these decks to have this tank, of course, as it is the most powerful that you have access to. Also, it's a very good looking tank, so I look forward to seeing these on the battlefield. Next up, we have a pretty normal T-72 equivalent. The Yugoslavians do gain access to the T-72 line, including the T-72M at 55 points, which does provide the 4HE power line of tanks that are very useful for dealing with enemy infantry in certain situations. They also come with quite high AP power, and in this case the M84A does have 65% accuracy as well. So these tanks can fill your middle range just to help with the balance of super heavies and medium tanks. I thought these tanks would be worth bringing up just as an interesting addition to the Yugoslavians. Finally, we have the T55AH Igman, a pretty standard 55-point T55 setup with the 60% accuracy and 15 AP power. I think it's pretty similar to the Merida, but yeah, I just thought this one looked really cool. It does have some sort of extra armor on the front, those armored plates with the spikes on them, really cool. It's been plated up well and truly and looks pretty beast. I don't actually expect these tanks to come in handy very often, as people will probably be preferring the T-72Ms, but the 2,275 meter range of the gun could be useful in certain situations. So that about sums it up for this video. I hope you've enjoyed my quick look at the support and tanks for Yugoslavia. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled for more videos like this, and you can always hit the subscribe button to make that job easier for you. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.